know it's time for Perform Like a Pro, sponsored by The Wall.
Hey guys, today we're gonna have a lot of fun installing a brand new skylight. And this is gonna be a pretty easy renovation, but let me show you how to do it. Now this is gonna be a lot of fun because we're up here on the roof today. I've already got the sheetrock down below, so I know where we're going. Let me show you what we're doing. First off, I kind of cheated. In my opening downstairs, I put screws up through the corners. So I know where those are here. So the first step is going to be to remove all the roofing out of the way so I can find the plywood so we can cut an opening. All right, the first thing is we're going to remove the shingles out of the area here, and I want to save these because these things are pretty toast. And so I'm literally going to get under these and start prying them carefully up because some of these I'm going to have to nail back down again. So I want these to be reused where I can. I'm gonna keep doing that and just keep pulling this down. That way, I've got some shingles to put back after we get our flashing done. You know, you can save a little work here by taking these staples out this way, but you're still gonna fight them. One thing we can do too is over here, you see where we have these gaps in the shingles like this. I can come down here and cut this and not have to worry about taking this weaving all the way back here. So when I get this pulled out, it's one less area that I have to weave back in because some of these shingles are just not coming up very well. All right, we got the old shingles out of the way, which means now I can mark out where the hole is. How do I know where the hole is going to be? Those 4 screws we talked about earlier. So now I'm going to take my chalk line. I'm gonna snap out where I need to cut. I'm gonna get the circular saw out. Now, one thing with the circular saw, this is what I love. You have to get the right blade. This, I have a demolition blade on here. So it'll actually cut through nails. So I don't have to worry about hitting nails. It's just gonna keep cutting and it's not gonna hurt the blade. So that's an easy way. Just get the right blade for the job. Now I could be lazy and that's what I'm gonna do here. I'm not gonna go downstairs and take the screws out. I'm literally just gonna knock them back through. I'm cutting a hole right into that corner anyway, so it doesn't matter. And the other thing is, just get our little staples out of the way. There's no sense getting in the way and having those hit the saw. All right, now one little trick that I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna make sure I can catch this. So I'm gonna, when I go to cut the rest of this, I don't wanna have to try to catch this or hurt something in my living room. So what I do is I'll take a screw like this and I'll get it to catch. That way the panel doesn't fall down and I have complete control of it. Time for the last cut. It's going to free up this panel. Now I got 3 or 4 screws into this thing. I hope it's going to hold, but you never know. So make sure you don't have anybody underneath there. Ooh, buddy. See, I had to catch that one. All right, our next step is we're gonna cut away the tar paper, which is the stuff here that's kind of the backup sealant for the roof. Now, we've got a big opening here, so a little caution's always recommended. That is not a place you wanna make a header from. All right, with this Velux skylight, there's a lot of instructions to follow, but I'm going a little bit off the reservation here with this one. I'm gonna do some flashing before I put it in, so that way I have an extra level of sealant. So it's one less chance to leak down the road. I'll put this flexible flashing around the outside of this and go down there. Then we're gonna set the skylight on top of that. Now, if you put a sticker on something, the last thing you want is sawdust around it. So we're gonna do a little cleaning here and just get this stuff out of the way. Now when this is all done, I'm going to be sheetrocking the inside, so that'll all be finished. You'll never see this, but this just helps keep water from going underneath everything. So that way we have a nice sandwich layer of waterproof materials. It's time to mark out some lines so we know where the skylight's gonna go. And they've got some really cool places how we do this. So we're just gonna continue the lines out the sides so you see where it's gonna match up so we can get it in there evenly. It's gonna come up here, mark that out, do the same this way, so we know where the corners are. All right, let's slide the skylight over. This thing is a monster. Move my foot up here. And then it has these little lines here that we're going to be able to tell when we get this thing lined up correctly. All right, so I'm the king of not following the directions and going the extra steps. Like the flashing, like using screws here to hold it down. They just hold better than nails. All right, if you're following the directions, Velux does have their own flashing that's flexible, but mine had seen a little bit of sunlight, so it's toast. So I'm using my other stuff that I've got. This is gonna do the exact same thing. And now we're gonna flash the outside of this, so that way any water, snow, or weather doesn't get inside the skylight. This is probably the most important part of the entire installation. If you do it right, it's not gonna leak. It's that simple. All right, now that we're flashed, it's time to get out the second set of directions. Yeah, this is for the flashing kit, and this is the metal that goes around, so we can put the roofing overneath it, and that way the stuff we just did is 100% protected. All right, the number one rule when you're flashing, always start from the bottom. All right, that just gets slid up underneath there. Make sure to get that in under everything. All right, our next step is literally step flashing. This is gonna go up the side so the water can run down and not come up underneath it. So we're gonna come in here, make sure we're starting at the right spot. They wanna start not flush. Get a couple nails. All right, it is tin snip time. Gotta just relief this corner here so that way the upper flashing slides over it. So we're just gonna come down here, kind of figure out where I need to be, which is about right there. It's just time to cut this out here. All right, the first step here is I gotta put the solar panel on before I flash it because the flashing goes over the top of this. So we're gonna plug this in here first and lock that in so it's tight. Okay, that's tight there. And then this is going to slide up here. All right, one of the keys with this is we're gonna nail the shingles back down and replace them. Now the good news is we're only using a portion of what we needed because a lot of these are torn up. I'm still gonna go back, blow the whole roof off when I'm done, and hit any nail points or anything else with some roofing tar to make sure it's sealed up well. Because anytime you're taking old roof shingles on and putting them back on, it's a place that could leak down the road. So with an old roof like this, I'm gonna take that extra step a little bit later. Now, let's go ahead and start putting some shingles on. We always start at the bottom and work our way up. Not saying it was easy and it took all afternoon, but this can be a DIY project almost anybody can tackle. Just be a little patient. Now that's a skylight.